It is 10:52 a.m. And this is P.O.C. That is continuous, but I'm sorry, let me be thorough. It is January 1st, 2021. It is 10:52 a.m. This is Erica Lorraine Spencer, and this is the P.O.C. And this is with regard to ongoing documentation of the state of California engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring in concert with the people of the state of California under the same demonic psychopath behavioral pattern of group stalking for the purpose of monitoring with communication devices. I just captured a video of the state hovering at low elevation over the museum at the same time that I turned on my cell phones, and this is seconds after AMR, heavily documented group stalker, that is the state acting directly via the ambulance, and as they are crossing path understand they are on camera driving north on Euclid Avenue. What they are doing is engaging in criminal elements number 2 and 3 under the state's fake sun, which is planted directly over the museum right now where I'm at. And this is what I document throughout the day as this fake sun remains directly over me at every venue that I go to, remaining literally at Holt and Lemon and Plum all day long. And wherever else I'm at, engaging in that same stalking conduct by light because the state is monitoring with communication devices. I took a picture also in relevant position to me in alignment, 214 South Euclid Avenue. This is the parking lot where third-party group stalkers and the state, that is the police, that is Ontario, City of Ontario dumpster trucks, that is any manner of any any third party and or state actor that engage in alignment directly across the street from me. And that's what I documented yesterday with regard to the license plates. I write down my notes in their entirety, but with regard to recitation of license plates, not going into those details, but it is written down. Those are third parties that were documented yesterday at 214 South Euclid Avenue in alignment to me while I'm packing up my belongings at the museum. They are in position. This is the same location where the police have also been cited stalking in alignment to me in that empty parking lot at night while they are engaging in stalking. That's what that is, being in the path, and also that is literal stalking, not just group stalking, the legal definition, but that is literal stalking as well. And this is also that which is directly aligned to my position at the museum while I'm engaged in activity, while I'm preparing to leave, while the state's fake sun is over the museum, and that is POC. As I am engaging in the same routine, packing up my belongings, AMR on traffic cameras, driving north, which is crossing path under the state's fake sun, right here over the museum where I am. And this is at 10:50 a.m. the moment that I make a different move, and this is while I'm packing up my sleeping bag, I make a sudden or unexpected or quote-unquote different gesture. AMR immediately sounds its sirens while it is directly in front of the museum crossing path. They're already engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring. They're crossing path. They are engaged in ongoing monitoring with regard to listening to everything that I do, including the most minor gesture of any movement at all times. And not just AMR, I'm talking about the state, period. AMR is just one actor amongst all the other third-party group stalkers on traffic cameras that are engaged in POC on a ceaseless basis. That's what you're looking at as you're looking at POC. AMR begins engagement in criminal element number 2, which is audible activity, sounding its sirens at the same time, and is on the traffic camera driving north while I am in the midst of packing up my sleeping bag. And what I did was the string got caught on my shoe. So this is a new movement that I made, unexpected, and with simultaneity. That's the behavioral pattern. AMR immediately sounds its sirens. That's federal group stalking and monitoring. That's the same behavioral pattern. It is also the demonic feature. And this is the state acting directly. It's currently 10:56 a.m. So as I turn on my phones, and that's what I captured on video, the state immediately present, hovering at low elevation, flying in a commercial-sized airplane. That's a third party providing instrumentalities of federal group stalking and monitoring for which they shall be prosecuted. And this is flying east over Emporia, right in front of me as I am engaged in movement, as I'm turning on my phones. That's POC as well. I am taking images of the state's fake sun, which is directly over the museum right now. And it is, again, you want to note the time, it's 10:56 a.m. I have already established that This is not the sun, and all you have to do is recall my documentation. This is ongoing documentation of what is ceaseless monitoring by a public entity. And this shows the demonic psychopath. That is the state of California. And it is demonic because I'm speaking not only to the criminal elements of monitoring, I'm speaking to that which is a demonic feature. Every element, by the way, is satanically rooted. The state's treatment with light, the state's engagement of group conduct, that is the third element of relevant positioning. That's literally the group stalking conduct, remaining in the path as a group. This is satanically rooted. Demons act in groups. They act in packs. That is satanically rooted. And the state's ongoing stalking with activity to punctuate, to follow, literally to remain with any manner of noise, all manner of noise, and or visible activity, conduct, as you are obsessively listening to and observing and watching, whatever you want to call it, stalking the targeted individual. That is satanically rooted, and you need to understand that. That's what third parties are doing. As I am literally documenting it, I am exposing what is demonic activity in that which is practiced by the group. This is the state of California engaging in this satanic system. Every single element is satanic. So when I'm speaking to the behavioral pattern of third parties, which is, for example, as I've spoken to, revving their engines, slamming their car doors, closing their trunks, starting their ignitions, turning on using lights on their vehicles for light activity as they are in the path, stalking with light, any manner of sounding their car alarms, honking their horns, with simultaneity to my movement. And this is that which the group does in sync as they are engaging in stalking with activity conduct, meaning as I make any move, you have this group that remains around and they are creating an ongoing, quote unquote, soundtrack to your every movement, everything that you're doing. That is not only criminal monitoring conduct, that is demonic. And that is what I am documenting as well. That is that of a psychopath, okay? And you are talking about a demonic influence operating over a group. That demonic influence is one satanic entity, understand that, operating over a group. So the people are plenty. The entity, the demonic entity is one, okay? In the same way, the legal argument, the legal theory, the faces, the actors are plenty. Plenty of group stalkers. It is the people of the state of California. Everywhere that you go, this system in operation, okay? The state acting vicariously through the multiplicity of faces. The stalker, the entity that is monitoring you is one. It is the government. It is the state of California, okay? This is in the spiritual context. If you don't want to, acknowledge that, you could just acknowledge it as malice, because that is what this demonic system is engaged in. It is public corruption in plain sight. You literally have demonic activity that is appearing on the outside externally as that which is presumably normal everyday activity. And I am showing you how, first of all, under the legal theory of federal group stalking and monitoring, the outward appearance is legally irrelevant. You are stripping it down to the substance of the elements as they exist and how they are engaging in those elements. And this is how you understand what is malicious conduct, what is public corruption in plain sight, okay? And that's what this is. And so I started recording this because I also want to speak to, about an hour and a half ago, almost 2 hours ago now, the state literally flying in a circle repeatedly at low elevation and hyper amplified sound and helicopter over the museum with simultaneity to my movement in my sleeping bag. So as I'm sleeping and I change position while I'm in the midst of sleep, the state begins immediately. So this is the stalker, okay, that remains directly over me in a helicopter, okay? This is a psychopath. This is the psychopath that I'm documenting. Remains directly over in a helicopter and immediately starts this flying in a circle, which is monitoring conduct. Flying in a circle is patrolling around. Patrolling is a term of art. It is with regard to relevant positioning, the third criminal element for monitoring with communication devices. When you are patrolling, you are either going around the location of the targeted individual, or you are crossing the path repeatedly of the targeted individual. When you are flying in a circle or walking around in a circle around the targeted individual, you are keeping them surrounded physically. You're literally walking around them, and this is repeated crossing and path. That's what this is, and the state is doing this via aircraft. Not only is that criminal monitoring, you need to understand that that is entirely satanic. And not only is that satanic, you're talking about the fact that this psychopath is in a helicopter waiting for me to make the most minor movement, and then begins hovering and flying in circles for about 10 to 15 minutes over the museum. Okay, and this is while on traffic cameras you're looking at third-party group stalkers driving back and forth on the street on Euclid Avenue and on Transit and on Holt Boulevard. All right, this is monitoring that you're looking at, and it is demonic activity. And that's what you don't see on the traffic cameras. They are all monitoring. And this is a satanic system in operation in the state of California. In the same way, the same psychopath driving the AMR vehicle, literally stalking in position as I am engaged in activity, packing up my belongings, leaving the museum, the moment I make the most minor gesture, sounding its sirens. Okay? That is the same psychopathic conduct. It is the same monitoring conduct. Okay? And this is... with regard to the helicopter, I want to go back, and that was about an hour and a half, almost 2 hours ago. It's 11 a.m. right now, so we can go back to about around 8:45 to 9 a.m. This is what is occurring while third parties are just driving back and forth in traffic. They're all monitoring, by the way. They are all monitoring. State's fake sun remains over this museum while I am at the museum, okay? This is P.O.C. that you're looking at, and it is demonic activity. Psychopaths driving every single car, monitoring with the state, aware that the helicopter is there. They are monitoring to that amplified audible activity. Okay, that's P.O.C. Immediately following this helicopter circling over me at the museum at low elevation, you're going to see on the traffic cameras the state begins sounding its sirens at the intersection of Euclid and Holt. Understand the sirens start right there. They are the same stalker in these emergency vehicles are already present. They're already in relevant position. They are stalking in their emergency vehicles. This is the psychopath that I am documenting. They are already present, literally engaging in stalking conduct and engaging in the legal definition of stalking under the system of federal group stalking and monitoring that is remaining in the path. For the purpose of monitoring. So they are literally stalking and they are legally stalking with regard to the monitoring system, okay? Sounding their sirens moments after the helicopter stops circling above me at the museum. And the sirens are amplified. They're right here next to me at the museum. And guess what? The sirens stop seconds later. They're just creating audible activity, and this is seen on the traffic cameras. While third-party group stalkers in all of their cars and walking back and forth on the street that you see, all of them are monitoring together. All of them. This is what satanic activity, this is what demonic activity looks like. This is what it intentionally appears as. And I am also showing you how the state is, and every actor is engaged in an abject failure of seeking to present itself as normal. And because I'm showing you how it is normal in no way whatsoever. It is absolutely abnormal, unnatural, okay, demented. Okay, so it is 11:05 a.m. And the state engaged in repeated use of its sirens, just like AMR just did moments ago as I'm packing up my sleeping bag. I have already established not only is the state engaged in ceaseless monitoring with communication devices and ceaseless stalking with its instrumentalities of monitoring, i.e. a literal fake sun, and with its instrumentalities provided by third parties, Southwest Airlines, UPS, FedEx, Prime, Amazon Prime, Delta Airlines, Alaska Airlines, all of them engaging in providing to the state for purposes of monitoring an American citizen, engaging in a terroristic type threat while they are monitoring. This is intentional, and the third-party airlines are not ignorant of that. This is how the system operates. I am revealing it to you, and this is also why you prosecute and how you prosecute each and every third party. In the same way that I'm identifying license plates of third parties, you identify every instrumentality provided to the state for that criminal purpose. And whether they want to claim ignorance or not, it is legally irrelevant. Again, you're focusing on the elements. All right? It is currently 11:06 a.m., and I'm at the museum where, as I captured an image, the state is flying over. The state's fake sun is directly present, and third-party group stalkers engaged in ceaseless monitoring, which you can clearly see on the traffic cameras. This is monitoring. All the elements are present, all the hallmarks of monitoring are present, and they're literally engaged in the criminal activity on camera as they are at every other place I am, because the state's whole criminal system relied on a false premise that they can depend upon the quote-unquote normal appearance of everyday activity, engage in criminal activity, and the fact of who it is or what it looks like is going to be that which is going to prevail against any claim of a target individual, and that is an entirely false premise, absolutely. And this is the documentation of the state of California: engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring, engaged in group satanic activity. This is the Museum of History and Arts. It is 11:07 a.m. And again, the state's fake sun. You want to recall my documentation. It's so interesting how people have such a short memory. Not only the totality of everything I've already documented at each venue, with regard to the state's fake sun being directly over me in entirely different addresses and times that are in direct conflict, and in locations, okay? The state's fake sun directly over Walmart, and more than one different Walmart, and you're looking at the state's fake sun directly over Woodside Senior Apartments. The state's fake sun has to be directly over, oh no, I'm sorry, not directly over, directly adjacent to the windows at West Valley Jail in order to direct light horizontally through the wall, all inside of that facility in all manner of directions, even inside of my cell, and then onto the side brick walls where it remains planted. The state's fake sun has to be present there as well. The state's fake sun remaining over the museum, the state's fake sun remaining over Starbucks when I was there, the state's fake sun remaining over Ontario Town Square, and even aiming light underneath the amphitheater while it is remaining present. Okay, I just want to recall every single place. Okay, that is one aspect of it. This is already proven. This is not a reasonable question. This is documentation of a psychopath that is monitoring an American citizen and how they engage in demonic activity for that criminal purpose. Let's go back to as recent as where I'm at, 150 East Holt, the state's fake sun present over that address while I'm on Holt Boulevard at 9:06 a.m. and over the exact same address at 2:58 p.m. And I'm at the museum, which is adjacent to 150 East Holt. It's 11:09 a.m. I've been documenting this for over a month now, since being released from kidnapping by West Valley and West Valley Detention Center. I have been remaining at this area. This is all the same criminal conduct every single day, and this is while the state keeps its fake sun object at the same quarter of a mile where I documented last night, Stater Brothers, impossible light activity, where the state's fake sun moved, you're talking about less than a quarter of a mile down the street at Stater Brothers, and it's still aiming light, not only into the depths of the store, onto the products next to where I'm standing, and these third parties are creating light activity inside of the venue. I mean, it is absolutely ridiculous, but this is how you document, and this is how you identify demonic activity. Okay, they are not inside that store grouped together while the state is aiming light inside of the depths of the store, underneath the store covering. Okay, after being present all day long for a series of hours at B&G Plaza, for remaining directly over me at the Ontario Town Square, and then at 4 remaining at inside of the Stater Brothers store. This is literally remaining all day long in Ontario at Holt and Euclid and Lemon, and then San Antonio. Okay, this is P.O.C. and it is absolutely the asininity of a public entity, in no way prepared to be documented and exposed on the public platform as a criminal, as a sex offender, as an obsessive, paranoid, demented stalker, because that's what it is. And it is also engaged in deep satanic activity as a group. That's what every third party that I'm documenting is engaged in, okay? And intentionally so, knowingly so, okay? Not only engaged in it, but aware that they're being documented. And this is also the absence of coincidence, where the state is molesting with light at the same time that a third party is present in the path. It is not a coincidence that the state is amplifying, that is literally applying a microphone, if you will, to all manner of audible activity at the same time that third party group stalkers are in the path. That's not a coincidence. It is not a coincidence that third party group stalkers are in the path while the state is remaining present over my shoulder with a literal fake sun. This is the absence of coincidence, while the state is present stalking literally, and remaining audibly present while stalking with the use of sirens and airplanes and helicopters, while third-party group stalkers remain in the path. This is the absence of coincidence. This is called federal group stalking and monitoring. Okay, it is 11:11 a.m. State's fake sun over the Museum of History and Arts, just as I showed. And this is POC. Erica Lorraine Spencer. This is real-time documentation of ongoing federal group stalking and monitoring that is being engaged in practice by the state of California, as I engage in ongoing documentation of the public entity that is monitoring in concert with the people of the state of California with communication devices. And that is the significance of everything that I document, and every third party that is a non-government actor, that is the people that surround, acting in concert with the state that creates the environment for purposes of monitoring, that is stalking with light, that is amplifying activity, that is stalking by plane and helicopter, just like is occurring right now, flying directly over my head, which I am taking an image of right now. It is currently 4:07 p.m. That's a plane flying directly over my head as they are listening to me document the pattern of conduct. That's the ongoing conduct as I remain at Ontario Town Square as of 1 p.m. And the state's fake sun squarely on where I was sitting facing Euclid Avenue and is remaining present directly on me now as of 4:08 p.m. The state's fake sun captured an image directly over me at the Ontario Museum of History and Arts, which, mind you, is a block away. This is the same intersection at Euclid and Holt where the state's fake sun is, where I'm getting up at the museum. It is also captured an image directly over the parking lot in front of me at the entrance where I'm entering and exiting, where I took an image of that as well, where that third-party venue engaged in monitoring me as well, in concert with the state that was stalking by airplane, helicopter, police, ambulance, fire, and in concert with the people that surround under that fake sun at that venue. That was P.O.C. capturing the state's fake sun in the middle of the day. That's around 12:20 p.m. when I completed my purchase, and I did take a picture of that. As I walk back toward the Ontario Town Square at 1 p.m., I arrive on camera and capturing the images of the fake sun at around, after I arrive at 1 p.m. and at around 2:20 p.m. You have third-party group stalker with license plate 4, Wendy Open Nancy 432, Tracy Banks, who engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring inside of the parking lot at Stater Brothers under the state's fake sun, creating audible activity, honking her horn at me, where the state is engaging in aiming impossible light activity onto the asphalt, onto the grounds as third parties are passing in the parking lot. She is present. This is a third party who is engaged in a repeated stalking conduct, appearing where I am at, and I do not tell her where I am at, and she arrives, and this is including in a different city. This is documented conduct she engaged in the city of San Bernardino after she called herself kicking me out of her apartment, and she turns up in the middle of San Bernardino inside of a McDonald's as though it's absolutely normal conduct. After I did not contact her, I did not call her, she walks into the McDonald's because she's engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring with the state that was flying over that McDonald's by plane and helicopter, and stalking with sirens, as you hear in the background. This is the McDonald's in San Bernardino on 2nd and G Street, and that is documented in October of 2019. Tracy Banks engaged in the same stalking conduct. She is a third party present, creating activity under the same factual circumstances where all elements remain present, and the state is engaged in ongoing stalking conduct and creating the ongoing environment for monitoring. And so this is at Stater Brothers after I complete my purchase, after I document the state's fake sun squarely above me at the east entrance of that venue, the state's fake sun directly over that parking lot, and then as I walk what is east from that venue, Stater Brothers at 646 West Holt, the state's fake sun is directly over me at Euclid Avenue as I am on the grounds at Ontario Town Square on camera at 1 p.m. where again the state met with sirens as I arrive at the venue, and I documented the third-party license plates in my immediate vicinity, acting with that state to monitor me. I want to note again, so the state's fake sun present 10:52 a.m. over the museum, over the Stater Brothers at around 12:20 after I complete my purchase, moves backwards with me, remaining directly squarely above me at Ontario Town Square. That is literally moving backwards back down the street over when I arrive at 1 p.m. Remaining at the same location at 2:20 p.m., which I captured an image of, where again third-party group stalker Tracy Banks with a license plate 4WON 432 arrives again. So this is the second episode of her engaging in stalking conduct, and I did capture an image of her vehicle vehicle at the Ontario Town Square, and she approaches me. At the moment that she approaches me, the helicopter immediately sounds over my head, flying over. It was flying west, directly over me at the Ontario Town Square, and the state engaged in what you heard in the background, the same use of sirens that were amplified as she stands in front of me on camera and engaging in audible activity, which was the substance of a threat, telling me that I'm going to jail, telling me that I have to go to court in what is a fictitious prosecution, and speaking of the fact that engaging in criminal defamation while the helicopter is literally flying over, which I have substantial documentation. This is already establishing the state stalking conduct in that incredible manner. And while it is occurring, she is engaging in criminal defamation, stating, and I quote, "See, that's the mental illness," when I am referencing the fact that she is present while the sirens are sounding, while the helicopter is flying over, and while she is engaging in verbalizing a threat on behalf of the state, while she's monitoring me with every other third party. That is criminal defamation while she is engaged in monitoring conduct. And that is intentional and malicious conduct that she is on camera engaged in. And she is also seen, I am also seen on camera telling her to move away, go away. No one called you, get away from me. She refuses to move away from me while she's engaged in monitoring, understand? So all this activity is surrounding, and she refuses to leave my presence, stating that this is a public venue, which is irrelevant. She can be on another bench. She doesn't have to be in front of me harassing me. And speaking of that, which is a threat, the substance of a threat, while she's monitoring, okay, while the state's fake sun, as I captured at that time, 2:25 p.m., directly in the same position that it was at 1 p.m. after being directly over Stater Brothers at 646 West Holt at around 12:20 p.m. after being directly over me at the Ontario Museum of History and Art at 10:52 a.m. with replete with a video that I captured soon to be published of the state flying over the same museum at the same time that I'm capturing the image of the fake sun at 10:51. I captured a picture of the state's fake sun at 10:52 a.m. This is the museum, understand, it is, again, you're talking about less than 200 feet away from where I am at the Ontario Town Square. This is the state remaining present. This is the state stalking with light because it is monitoring. The vehicles that you hear in the background are creating ongoing audible activity. The sirens are ongoing audible activity. The plane over my head is ongoing audible activity. The children that are around, that is the state, that is the third-party group stalkers, using them as a means of creating audible activity while they surround monitoring with the state. And this is why the state's fake sun is planted over this venue and engaged in ongoing molestation of my person while they are monitoring, okay? And so this is the significance of what is captured on Ontario Town Square. I'm just giving context. P.O.C. continuous everywhere that I go, and I'm speaking to the fact that the state's fake sun remaining directly over me everywhere that I'm going, up and down Holt Boulevard, and where I remain, the state's fake sun remains. Again, that's from 1 p.m. until what I captured right now, 4 p.m., the state's fake sun at the same location over me at the bench. And while I start this audible podcast, what you're hearing was the state flying over my head with a plane and the state sounding its sirens. Okay, that is P.O.C. And that is Tracy Banks, license plate 4W0N432, engaging in stalking at Stater Brothers, engaging in stalking here at Ontario Town Square, where her presence is not welcomed, it was not solicited, and she engages in speaking of that which is actually no concern of hers. She is engaging in making sure that she communicates a threat that I am going to jail and that I suffer from a mental illness. And while helicopters are flying over and while the state is engaging in placing its light source directly over where she's standing in front of me and sounding its sirens. That is P.O.C. That is the demonic activity that I'm speaking of, by the way. Demonic activity is speaking to that which is entirely malicious, so you can replace it with that if you are not familiar with the demonic, but that's what I am spelling out for you. That's what I'm expounding upon. That is what the state of California is engaged in. This happens to be a third party whose name I know, and that goes with the license plate. I captured an image of her presence. I captured an image of her presence while the state is engaging in that ongoing pattern in conformity to what is monitoring with communication devices, and that's at 2:20 p.m. So I want to go ahead and recite these license plates that I captured throughout the day. 40941G1, 7WFL701, 6PTB031, 6FAR450, 00581Z2, 6GYE046, Ontario Police Department, license 1591668, vehicle number 1020, 6CNN316, again that's 6CNN316, 8NA9364, 8KEG648, 3TKV961, 7P24113, 8NUC803, 82NJ206, 8KPW209, 8FLL139, 7714592, 89515B2, 7WDH556, 5PPL665, 4LEN996, 7KBD551, 6RMF006, 7ZMB628, 8NDW572, 8SBL403, 8LFK002, 6SIH874, 334, 33C2, 7CSB777, 2VCL376, 8RVY099, 6UXP351, 8BKG530, 8ELG236, 49272R2, 8PAW996, 8EKP863, 8M25423, 8CBA991, 7NCE670, 7ENY531, 56529, that's a handicap license plate, 6DZR205, 3UPM690, BJG999, that's an out-of-state license plate, that's at the Stater Brothers venue, 7LFT079, 4NEH421, 6TYG694, 5MFR373, 8JNV071, 7HIZ797, 1169617, and 4WON432, both at Stater Brothers. That's Tracy Banks, and then for the same license plate, 4WON432, again at Ontario Town Square, engaging in more than one act of federal group stalking and monitoring today at two different venues, replete with the state stalking with its fake son directly over me at both places. Where I am at, where she is present in my path, creating audible activity, voicing a threat on behalf of the state, and engaging in criminal defamation as well. With regard to P.O.C, as I remain at Ontario Town Square, I want to speak to where my presence today. Beginning at the Museum of History and Art, and then I walked to the B&G Plaza, Shiro's Liquor. These are license plates reflected engaging in P.O.C as the state's fake son was directly over that venue, flying planes over me at that venue. Okay, the state's conduct is coexisting with everything that I'm documenting. That's why I'm documenting the third parties that are acting with the state that is ceaselessly engaged in stalking with light, ceaselessly engaged in stalking by plane, helicopter, police, fire, and ambulance. Okay, so the state's conduct is what prefaces third parties, and this is how a public entity monitors. And so I go from the Museum of History and Art to B&G Plaza at Shiro's Liquor, to Stater Brothers at 646 West Holt Boulevard, to Ontario Town Square at 1 p.m. And remain present as of the current time, 4:20 p.m., in which, as you hear, the state engaged in the ongoing POC of federal group stalking and monitoring, which is, while I remain here, is also on surveillance cameras. You are looking at what is monitoring. And it is married to the audible activity, and the state is engaged in continuous stalking with light because it is monitoring, amplification of audible activity, stalking with sirens, and that is the POC for federal group stalking and monitoring, and that which I have designed and I advocate based on my ongoing prolonged, experience and documentation and familiarity with a public entity's criminal system, the criminal tactics when it is monitoring with communication devices. It is that which has never been addressed by federal legislation, and that is called I.I.S. federal legislation, systematic infliction of inhumane suffering, designed to address every criminal, and I put that in parentheses, demonic, because it is entirely malicious. It is a matter of public corruption and understanding how the entirety of that system operates to not only engage in federal group stalking and monitoring, but then to engage in the pattern of conduct of criminal obstruction of justice, seeking to conceal and insulate itself from prosecution exposure for engaging in that criminal system in concert with the people of the state of California. That is the P.O.C. It's currently, one moment, it is currently 4:22 p.m. And I remain at third-party facilitating venue, Ontario Town Square, where they are engaged in group conduct, monitoring with the state. That is creating an ongoing environment for that purpose. And P.O.C. is ceaseless, it does not stop. That is, it's 4:22 p.m. and that is the P.O.C. License plate 8 BAB, B-A-B 667. Third-party crossing path as I'm walking toward Andy's Burgers, leaving bus stop number 7999 at Holt and Sultana, in between Plum and Sultana, where the state is flying over me repeatedly in the blue and white helicopter. Third parties are engaging in POC via Andy's Burgers. License plate 4ZNJ479, 8SQS371, BA1 MA3 7BIG 452 7WCK 345 8CHA 467 6. Let's see, excuse me. 6 HWA 431 7UZD 464 7XFS 951. They're all monitoring. That's why the state is flying over by helicopter. It flew first south over me while I'm sitting at the bus stop, and then it flew north over me again at the same bus stop over the Ontario Town Square, which is what I'm sitting in front of. License plate 92783Y2, 7VEN 800. Make sure I got that correctly. You have third parties that are in Andy's Burgers drive-thru in relevant position, parked on transit, headlights on, creating light activity on transit as well. This is surrounding with light. This is what I'm speaking to with regard to relevant positioning. It is beyond where I'm sitting at. So they're on the streets all around, patrolling in traffic, and at the venues around. License 7HRL 745, sitting on transit, light activity. It is currently 5:15 p.m. I'll make sure I got the correct license plate over here. I said, yeah, that's correct, 7VEN 800. Okay, 8GDD 789. Let's see. All right, and as I move around, third parties turn on their cars to create light activity. This is going to be seen on the traffic cameras right at Plum. 5JYJ914. I'm walking around getting license plates in the drive-thru, and they're creating light activity. Sitting at the light is POC. Sitting on the side of the street with light activity is POC. That is 8GDD789, if I didn't say that already. 6UMM324. 819N64. That's a Nevada plate. That is 8EBK837. Driving south on Plum. This is, where's the plate at? Oh. Silverado, let's see, 8PVH240, 83213Z1, ZXFS951. Now these might be the cars that I read already. 6HWA431. Yeah, I read that one already. This is POC. The state patrolling over me by helicopters while I'm sitting at bus stop, Omnitrans bus stop, number 7999. I completed my purchase at Shiro's Liquor, and I'm sitting at the bus stop. And third parties, all they have to do is engage in presence. And presence via in a drive-thru, presence via sitting in their cars in the parking lot, parking their car in the parking lot and going inside of any venue in relevant position. This is called group stalking. While the state is engaging in ongoing stalking with light, stalking by aircraft, police, sirens. That's why they use their emergency vehicles for that criminal purpose while they surround. And so this is documenting third parties who are in relevant position acting with that state and also creating activity for the criminal purpose of monitoring with communication devices in violation of 18 U.S.C. section 42A. License plate 8SJH483. And here's another one coming. I am inside of, oh no, I got the license plate already. I am inside of B&G Plaza right now. That is also armed with surveillance cameras. And so that's P.O.C. as in real time, and it's also documented on the cameras inside. I want to read some more license plates. 6HXL557, 8GQG954, 8PI. I'm going to say, oh, I'm sorry, scratch that, 8PDW219, 7JTU771, 8PIW406, 7WVB298, 6TLK412, 5GNT801, 8BES599, 7HCM281. This is license plate light activity as they are entering into the venue in relevant position, 7KFV474. License plate 8REA316. And license plate, let's see, we've got a old Mercedes that just entered in to the Andy's Burgers area, parking inside of the venue. Third parties are engaged in real-time monitoring, so aware that I'm documenting them. And so when they're engaging in POC, they're engaging in that which is entirely malicious as well. So as I document what is third-party license 7KFV474, molesting my person with light, you have another one that immediately falls behind, engaging in the same. It is POC, and it is also malicious demonic activity. That's 4ZUR319. Let's see, I got this license plate already, and they're leaving the drive-thru. This is POC at B&G Plaza. The state is planted above this parking lot in planes. And this is 7GWP617. And this is 7KXP897. And third parties are on the traffic cameras, patrolling back and forth. They're engaging in monitoring with the state, driving on Transit, driving on Plum, driving on Holt and Euclid, driving on Sultana. This is called relevant positioning while the state is monitoring. Currently driving 7TWF242. I'm gonna get Z24496Y1. This is the group that is currently passing as I'm walking east on Holt Boulevard. They are driving west on Holt Boulevard, crossing path. That's POC. It's currently 5:21 p.m. Okay, just want to give an example of POC. As I am using my phone, I'm also referencing the cameras at Plum and Holt. Traffic is at a standstill. They're monitoring. The state is controlling the lights. As I am walking north on Plum Avenue, you have a third-party group stalker sitting in their car. That is called crossing path in reverse, waiting for me to either, they're crossing path whether I walk west on Holt or whether I engage in walking north on Plum. Regardless, they're engaging in crossing path, sitting in their car in relevant position over the same apartments that the state is flying over in helicopter as well. That is license plate 7ZTW110. Let me show you how the criminal partnership, the criminal group conduct works. As I'm crossing path, this third party that is sitting in their car in relevant position, another third party is creating noise, loud noise. You hear a loud bang as I am walking. That's audible activity while they are in relevant position, and light is constant, okay? That is POC, and that is the demonic activity as well for the group work that they engage in for monitoring purposes, and that's POC as I'm walking up Plum. That's the creation of audible activity as I begin walking again with my property. So this is P.O.C. as I'm walking up Plum. They're on the traffic cameras driving up and down on Plum Avenue. And this is what I describe as similar to roaches. They just swarm around, they creep and crawl around, surrounding with light and surrounding with activity. And that's P.O.C. and that's also on the traffic cameras. It's currently 5:24 p.m. License plate BC53L95, that's a paper plate.